Since the late 1800s, West Virginia miners have produced some 13 billion tons of coal. In that time, the Mountain State's high-quality bituminous coal has powered everything from the nation's steel factories to Navy battleships. Today, the state still produces more than half the coal used by American power plants and generates almost all of West Virginia's electricity. Early coal mining was a most challenging and dangerous profession. Miners, using only hand tools, worked in cramped spaces and spent hours preparing the coal to be loaded. The work required undercutting the seam and blasting the coal into manageable pieces. Miners shoveled these chunks of coal into a mine car, which was shuttled to the surface. Miners were paid only for the coal they loaded, so they occasionally rushed or didn't carefully follow safety steps, like ensuring the mine roof was supported properly. Thousands of miners were killed over the years due to roof falls. Some coal companies cut corners when it came to safety. Many mines had elevated levels of highly combustible methane gas, which required large fans for ventilation and careful inspections. Not following these safety measures conscientiously sometimes resulted in massive explosions that killed or trapped many miners at a time. Over the years, federal and state regulations made mines safer, and the number of mining deaths fell dramatically during the 20th century. Machines also improved miners' lives, at least initially. The first machines were cutting tools, which replaced the difficult task of undercutting a coal seam with a pick. This saved the miner hours of work, allowing him to load more coal in a day. Machines and technology like battery-operated lights, air quality testing equipment, and roof bolting machines also made mines safer. The introduction of automatic loading machines, which both cut and loaded the coal, reduced the need for hand-loading coal miners. The United Mine Workers Union initially kept the machines out of many union mines. But in the late 1940s, Union President John L. Lewis dropped his fight against mechanization in exchange for a contract that provided for a miner's health and pension plan. In the 1950s, the coal industry fully embraced mechanization. 2% of West Virginia's coal was loaded by machines in 1935. 20 years later, 99% was machine-loaded. In 1948, some 125,000 men worked in the West Virginia coal industry. By the end of the 50s, less than half of these jobs remained, due largely to the increase in machine mining. Today, machines are central to all aspects of coal mining. Longwall machines and continuous miners shear coal directly from the face. The broken coal typically falls into a pan line, which leads to a conveyor belt and then to the processing plant. Another development in the late 20th century was the increase in surface mining, particularly strip mining. Strip mining removes the top soil and rock, known as overburden, allowing large machines to mine the coal from the top of the seam. This method is used when coal seams are close to the surface. While forms of strip mining date back to the earliest days of the industry, it was not profitable on a large scale until the development of massive earth-moving equipment in the mid-20th century. The lack of effective regulation on strip mining led to significant environmental problems, such as scarred landscapes and polluted streams. The tipping point was the 1972 Buffalo Creek flood, which killed 125 people in Logan County. The disaster was caused by an improperly built waste dam at a strip mine. It led to tighter regulations on surface mining, with a federal law passed in 1977 to minimize environmental impact by surface mine operations and mandated the reclamation of abandoned mine sites. More recently, mountaintop removal mining, a method used when coal seams lie deeper below the surface, is being practiced more frequently and to greater criticism. As the name indicates, this form of mining literally removes the tops of mountains to expose the seam. The overburden generally is discarded in a nearby valley or hollow. While mountaintop removal is more cost-effective in getting to the underlying coal, it has been criticized for permanently changing the terrain and increasing the threat of flooding. The coal industry stresses that good reclamation practices lead to stable, more useful land after mining operations. Today, most coal in West Virginia is still mined underground. While present-day mining requires different skills, today's miners are as courageous as the hand-loading miners of a century ago. Although the industry is much safer compared to the early days, miners still contend with the inherent dangers of working beneath the Earth's surface. Thanks to their dedication and skill, West Virginia leads the nation in coal exports and is second only to Wyoming in total coal production. With some 50 billion tons of mineable reserves, coal continues to play a vital role in West Virginia's economy.